It had been months since I walked away. No goodbye, no letter, not even a final glance at her. The woman I once loved, the woman I vowed to spend my life with, had shattered me in a way I couldn't even begin to comprehend. The day I discovered her betrayal, I left, and I never looked back. But now, standing before me, was the last person I ever expect to see again. She had come searching for me. I wasn't prepared for this. I didn't want to see her. Not now, not ever. Yet, there she was, pleading for forgiveness. But why? Was it love, or was it regret? The truth didn't unfold in a dramatic fashion. It wasn't like in the movies, where you catch them red-handed in the act. No, it was the small things, the subtle changes I ignored for far too long. The coldness in her touch, the late nights at work, the phone that was always on silent, always face down. And then there was that one night, the night that changed everything. I had come home after a long, exhausting day, barely paying attention to anything, until I saw it. A message. The words hit me like a punch to the gut, knocking the air from my lungs. I didn't need to read it twice. I knew exactly what it meant. In that instant, everything I believed about my marriage, about her, about us, crumbled. I didn't confront her. I didn't yell. I didn't demand explanations. I simply walked out. Because when someone betrays you like that, it's not about understanding. It's about acceptance. She had made a choice. She had chosen someone else. And I couldn't stay. The days that followed blurred together. I didn't want to talk to anyone. Friends reached out. Family urged me to get out, to breathe, to live again. But I couldn't. The weight of betrayal pressed down on me, suffocating me. I moved into a small apartment, far from the life I once knew, far from the ghost of what we used to be. I kept to myself, drowned myself in work, and avoided anything that might remind me of her. But the nights, those were the worst. The silence was deafening, each empty space in my apartment mirroring the void she had left behind. There were moments when I missed her, moments when I wondered if she felt the same pain I did. But then I'd remind myself, she made her choice. She crossed a line, and there was no turning back. Then, 6 months later, my phone lit up with a name I never thought I'd see again. Hers. For a moment, I froze. A storm of emotions surged through me. Anger, confusion, disbelief. Why now? After everything? Was it guilt? Regret? I debated whether to ignore it, to block her number, and erase the possibility of her ever finding her way back into my life. But another part of me, the part one hated to acknowledge, needed to know why she had reached out. So I replied. I told her to meet me at a cafe we used to visit, one of the few places that didn't suffocate me with memories of her. I arrived early, settling into a quiet corner, pretending to be unaffected, but inside my thoughts were a whirlwind. Then she walked in. I gripped my coffee cup, resisting the urge to leave. She looked the same, yet different. Her hair was shorter, and there was a tiredness in her eyes, as if she had aged years in the months we'd been apart. When she saw me, her eyes filled with something, guilt, remorse, maybe even sorrow. She sat down, staring at her hands. "Thank you for meeting me," she murmured. I said nothing. I just watched her. For months, I had imagined this moment, picturing all the things I would say. But now, sitting across from her, I couldn't find the words. The pain was still raw, still fresh. "I've missed you," she said, her voice unsteady. "I know what I did was wrong. I regret everything." I wanted to believe her. I wanted to believe that the woman sitting across from me, the one looking so vulnerable, so broken, was the same woman I had once loved. But she wasn't, and she never would be again. "I never meant for it to happen," she whispered, tears threatening to spill. "I thought I could handle it, that I could keep both of you in my life. But when you left, I realized how much you meant to me." I swallowed hard, my heart pounding. This wasn't the apology I had imagined. It wasn't enough. Words wouldn't fix what she had destroyed. I needed more than her regret. I needed the truth. "What is this?" I asked, my voice cold. "Is this about wanting me back? Or realizing you lost your safety net?" Her expression crumbled, and in that moment I saw it The truth. It's not just that, she said quickly, shaking her head. I miss you. I miss everything we had. I think about it every single day. I didn't know how to fix what I broke. But the unspoken truth hung between us. She didn't miss me. She missed the way I made her feel. She missed the security, the comfort, the life she had with me. But that wasn't love. That was regret. And suddenly, everything became clear. She wasn't here because she couldn't live without me. She was here because her backup plan had failed. Her new life hadn't turned out the way she hoped. And now, she wanted to see if I was still an option. I stood, the weight of realization settling over me. I can go back. Not now. Not ever. I think you should go, I said. She didn't argue. She didn't beg. She just nodded, disappointment shadowing her face. And then she left. I stayed behind, watching her walk away. The moment was heavier than anything I had felt in months. But as I stepped out of that cafe, a strange peace settled over me. Forgiving her didn't mean going back. It didn't mean pretending everything was okay. It meant accepting the truth. Because if she had truly loved me, she would have never risked losing me in the first place. So, if you're waiting for someone to realize what they lost, stop. And if they ever come back, remember this. They don't miss you. They miss the way you made them feel. And that's not love. That's regret.